Okay, so I'm doing these daily updates for everybody, and they're different on Facebook and Instagram, and right here on YouTube. You guys know I have a special soft spot for the YouTube family. Lots of big shifts happening for sure. It's really coming into balance, and then with greater storming, often seeing things with a more clear perspective as well. That's what I talk about in the book. The book that I wrote. If you guys don't know me, if you're new to this channel, I'm MJ. I've been on an intuitively guided journey for most of my adult life, if not like fully my whole adult life. And this is basically the result of that, including Alta Love as an online business and brand that promotes spirituality, sustainability, and freedom via living more compassionately, basically. All right, so I'm endeavoring to do these daily updates most days, and then do the monthly horoscopes for the 13 zodiac signs. And again, if you're new here, I do Ophiuchus. I'm also doing a 2-for-1 until tomorrow. So if you book a private reading from now until tomorrow, you just have to book the reading, and then you can let me know what you want to do with the freebie. The freebie is going to be available until December 25th. So my intention there is that if you book now, because I need the money, if you book now, then you can have until December 25th to basically use the freebie as a gift if you want to for the holidays. And then that's super in alignment with Alta Love, because then it's a sustainable digital gift, and it also saves you some of the hassle of like the cray-cray of the holiday season and consumerism, which I do talk about a lot as well. Okay, let's crack on with the reading, shall we? So we start off with a 4 of Cups. So there is a new opportunity coming around. Some of you are really rising your intuitive, like, boom, balance. The Temperance card is ultimately coming into that unified field, and or taking time to really self-care. And then I feel it's, wow, yeah, I feel like because the Temperance is the central theme of the reading, with the Emperor underneath it, and the Emperor's in the reverse. So I'm ultimately getting, especially for this community, this is a new paradigm community, a lot of empaths, light workers, whatever label you want to give yourself, you just give a shit, basically, like a lot. And you probably had spiritual awakenings, right? So the Temperance card is signaling to me that through the self-love and the self-care and like the healing, the emotional healing, that is ultimately what's like transforming the world. Transforming like the patriarchy, which is like an imbalanced emperor, an imbalanced, yeah, rather than living in a balanced, equanimous, patriarchal and matriarchal society, where obviously we honor the divinity within ourselves as one. And we went off track. Humanity went off track into this, like, we're all separate and it's all fear-based and what have you. So for many, many ages now, the planet has been restoring itself, healing itself. That includes us, the humanity that lives here. So we're coming into this greater self-awareness. And then in that greater self-awareness, it's like, hold up, I gotta look after myself. Because again, oftentimes the world of enslavement and control and domination doesn't propagate that. It's like, just work and get a job, and that is all. And then our divine awareness is like, I don't actually think that's the best way to live. So great, yay, greater unity. And then that makes sense because you're coming into proper high priestess mode in balance. Getting this weird intuitive sense with the Ace of Wands that this is something to do with like creative passion and clarity, and because it's right beside that 4 of Cups, it's in the reverse. So it's saying to me like, yo, if you stay in the poo-poo mopey mode of like, why didn't those 3 cups work out? Cups is love, right? Why didn't these 3 cups work out? Why aren't I getting money coming in? If you just focus on that, then basically you can't see the love that's right there being offered for you. And you're also basically denying your creative sparkle, which the creative sparkle in all of us is what, and again, this is what I talk about in the book, like your creative elixir is like your divine service. So get on it. So do it. And then ultimately that's going to bring the love, hot vibrashe, and the money into your reality. Interesting. Over here, I'm getting this sense of like, it's like, be strong in your knowing, and like, even if there's this feeling of like being left out in the cold or having to leave people out in the cold, it's ultimately all still part of like bringing down the patriarchy. It's all of this crazy astrology that we're in right now as well, around you restructuring ourselves, right? Not playing by the old rules as such. And that has to do with our individuation. That has to do with our own patterns and breaking those down. And then we've got judgment. Judgment is in the reverse here, but I actually still feel like it's a positive card. I feel like, as in, the judgment is in your favor, but the reason it's in the reverse is because it's been difficult. It's not easy necessarily to have to push people aside necessarily, and yet that is rising the mystic. That is rising the true creative, queen or king in their seat of power. And then ultimately that's going to bring about the pentacles that you've been laying down, the seeds of the pentacles of the working life that you've been laying down. Hi, yeah. Hi, Spirit Spectre and Vision of Truth. I'm getting a feeling. I'm like, have you been doing awesome Halloween makeup? Is that your Instagram page that I'm seeing that on? I could be wrong. I'm sure there's you, and yes, it is. Right. I respect basically. There, look, creative, like following that creative flow, like doing fun stuff. I'm assuming it's fun for you, and that's why you're like, hey, look at my face. So and like, it's inspirational. Like when something's coming from our authenticity, it's the legit truth. It's awesome. It's fun. It attracts in the right flow. And not to say that we don't all have like shit to shift and like stuff to work through continuous, but like each elevation, each time we shine light on some distortion or like, whatever, we can then be like, okay, that's done. And that's something, again, I do endeavor to teach in the Fearless Life Guide. And even though I share the process with all y'all, it's like getting into the deep of emotional healing, but not staying there forever, and ultimately not wallowing there and not meeting it unconsciously in those suffering patterns, right? Because then it's just basically hooking into the bass tones out of fear. But yet we resonate because of the suffering. It's this weird. It's like this. I'm sure I quote something about it in the book as well, about like we almost get addicted to our suffering. And sometimes our ego can latch onto it as like some special like thing that our suffering. Abraham talks about it. We all get it. I get crazy with it. Good. That's the legit awesome. It's like me dancing in my bedroom or like playing with these guys. Get crazy with it. That sounds really fun. I'm like, we don't want to get crazy on my face and do some Halloween magic. Yes. It's so all about that. It's so all about like, yes, being real with our emotions. Yes, doing the emotional healing as and when it hits up against us, but just keep moving, basically. Keep going with the stuff that we love, and just keep having faith. And this is a big one as well that's coming through for me. It's like, stay in the present moment. This is I would say part of the efficacy of Ultra Love as a community and channel with my long ass spiritual awakening and transformational journey. It all is still here now in the present, and being really mindful of where our imagination and where our mind and our thoughts can take us in, as far as like different dimensions, or like, all these aspects of self, and yet being discerning with what's useful to us in a momentum feeling good space in the here now. because ultimately we're not beings that are floating off in the cosmos just yet. We're anchored here on this planet, so we might as well make fucking use of it. All right. So past lives has just popped up around that creative sparkle. So it's basically like just healing that past life aspect and really, really stepping into the presence of your intuition in the here and now, and then using the creative juice to work it. Is it worth it? Gonna bang down, flip it, and reverse it. Like Missy Elliott, y'all. Use that creative juice, my friends. Okay, and then there's some more spiritual advice coming through the Osho cards here. Dropping the burden, like releasing, and this I think has a lot to do with, again, breaking patterns and like disentangling a sense of burden, a burden to the collective, a burden to other, a burden to save the world, a burden, whatever fucking feels like a burden, that we can just be like, no, that's not mine to carry. And make a choice that's really firm within self. And this is ultimately spiritual maturity. This is like coming into the truth of your power and the truth of your knowing. This being is beautiful, full of light, and then wrapped in all the colors of the rainbow. It's legit awesome. For sure. And this is part of like this idea of kind of like detaching and ignoring the circumstances. And this is just a dominant theme in, I would say, old paradigm, is like anytime we're just focusing on money, it can be just some bullshit, and then it drives the fear versus driving be creative. I'm sure I was just loving the yoga vibrashe for many years before it like reaped financial reward, but I had to get into that flow. I had to kind of be in that dedicated space, right? And similar with all to love, it's just like, just keep going and trust and holy bull sacks, like, especially because I write in the book, I'm like, we will, everything, all the base tone, energetic or geometric vibrations of our outpouring that are vibrating on a certain level, if we're reaching for greater joy and greater freedom and be certain that everything that you carry that doesn't align with where you're going, it will come up. It will manifest in your reality. But it's having the discernment awareness of like, oh, that's an illusion that I can fucking face down in the light of my awareness, versus being like, oh no, I better go back to being a slave or whatever. And yeah, the creative transition, it's just the commitment to self. It's commitment to our own joy. It's commitment to our freedom. It's commitment to, and that's the piece about individuation. That's the piece about sovereignty. Knowing the truth. Yes, we are one, and yet we are sovereign beings. The energetic flow of cosmic stardust is a unified field. It's one energy form, basically. And yet that this is the fucking beauty of cosmic creation, is that there's this unity, there's this oneness, and yet we're in form. We get to experience our divinity in sovereignty, not separation, sovereignty, which means we get to choose. And that's a choosing of our own free will from within our own intuition or our own divinity aspect. I would say intuition, divinity are kind of the same, because intuition is essentially like reign supreme. It like knows all. It like it's connected to the whole ultimately. I believe, like, when we go against intuition, or if we're not quite clear yet, then we're learning lessons and outworking patterns versus living in our truth. Oh, courage, my friends. Okay. And that makes sense if you guys have been following any of the astro. So I think that's enough. So basically, like, courage, having mega courage, because we are coming into completion. This is totally relevant to us moving toward that 2020 astrology. And I don't even know what's happening on the planetary level. I just know it's big. So, yes, we're still shedding. Yes, we're still working through stuff. Yes, we're still rising and coming into our maturity as self and as this beautiful creature. Look, like, she's just a divine being of light. And then this card is just saying, you know, continue to have courage, do this, do the self-love, self-care, temperance mode, take time out whenever you need it, relax, have faith, all that stuff. You know, sometimes laying down, I call it the intuitive sword, sometimes laying that down can be fucking brutal. It's not comfortable, and yet denying our intuition is not where it's like, that's not what we want to do no more, because we know we'll just keep looping back into low level patterns. So this is also basically symbolic for this community. Like, we are coming into full completion mode. I do think that's somehow in alignment with the 2020 Astro, as far as like pockets of oversoul communities coming into full integrity and alignment from within self, i.e. coming into completion to manifest the kind of higher vibrational outpouring. And then that basically those manifestations are also trigger points for the next wave of the collective to keep coming in. And then we all have our function, our creative function, which is, you could call creative function a healing function. It's the same thing. If you're in your power, your truth, your authenticity, you're a healer. But healing modalities, i.e. the structure and the control domination around healing modalities, is also going to fall away, because we recognize as the sovereign self that the one is the healing, and it's in the quantum. So it's like sound and basically feeling good, right? Like alignment trumps all. So it's like coming into that recognition on a broader level, which is all one and the same as shape-shifting what we once knew as the world, and strongholds of collective agreements around, you know, medicine and health and yada, yada, yada. Girl, I like all the words you're saying tonight. Thank you. Hi, Jen Beanie. How are you? Okay, so that's the daily reading for all y'all. Again, just until tomorrow. I'll probably give you until like midnight. 2 for 1 on all these readings. Somebody just booked a 10-minute reading and was like, what's a 2 for 1? I meant to pick a 20-minute instead of a 10-minute. And then she was like, oh, wait, 2 for 1. So can I just have a 20-minute reading for the price of a 10-minute reading? Yes, you can. So yeah, feel free to book those in if you wanna. And otherwise, you guys just keep flowing, just keep loving, and just keep going. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Love you. And you, Spirit Spectre. I look forward to seeing your like more Halloween makeup vibration. I'm not a fancy dress type of gal. And not like, I think it's cool. I love seeing people's creative sparkle. If you've noticed, I tended to have pretty much the exact same makeup every day, and I have pretty much the exact same outfit every day, but like different colors. 3 hats. I have 2 pair of jeans and 1 pair of black trousers, and then like a color like white, blue. You guys pretty much know my whole wardrobe. Okay, I love you guys. I love you so much. Have a great day. Peace out.